Welcome to the podcast where Southern flavor never stops and never ceases to amaze. We're your host, Professor Dre Marley and
Lace, serving up voices, vibes, and the vision of the South. Kickback Gumbo Gang. Today our guest is DJ Raj Smoove.
the greatest DJ in the world.
What's up?
So, we're recording this episode one day after your birthday.
Yes.
What's one lesson that you've learned over your years of being a DJ that you take moving forward in your life?
One lesson, like a DJ lesson or like a life lesson?
A life lesson. We're going to say a life lesson
life
expanded.
Always be nice to people because you never know who you're talking to.
Kindness works.
Yeah. It's funny because sometimes I'll be out with my kids and people will holler at me and they'll be like, Daddy, who is that? I'll be like, I don't know. Like a lot of people know Daddy. Daddy doesn't know everybody. But, you know, it might have been somebody I went to school with, somebody I worked with that I might not have seen in 20 years. So, you know, you just got to be cool. You got to be nice with people because you never know.
I say Dad's a local legend.
Real talk. So, I got a question. When was the moment that you knew you wanted to be a DJ?
Somewhere around 1988, 1989, listening to Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince live at Union Square. And, you know, like Jazzy Jeff was just like a dog and it was like live in concert and he was just scratching and transforming and everybody in the audience was like, ah. And I'm listening to that and I'm like, yo, like that's shy, but like I could do that. And that was, you know, in the 80s, you know, when I was a kid coming up, like DJs were very, very important. Like, you know, you had like the movie like Beat Street where like the DJ was like the hero of the movie. So, you know, I had, you know, like nowadays people see like rappers on social media and it's like, yo, like I want to be like that. Like that's who they look up to. But in the 80s, like, you know, a lot of the DJs had, you know, were front and center. Like it was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You know what I'm saying? DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. You know, DJ CashMoney and Marvelous. Like the DJs was getting top billing. So,
You know, really control the party. You know what I'm saying?
Like that's you know, we were that early in hip hop where, you know, like the DJs started it and the DJs were still like the most important part of it. So, you know, coming out of that era, you know, and then being able to listen to these DJs just go off on records, like, yo, like I want to do that.
So what do you think the difference is between DJing back then to being a DJ now?
I mean, where to start? Like what, you know, the difference between life back then and life back now. You know, like, just the technology, one thing, you know what I'm saying? Like everything was analog. The way people interacted and consumed music was different. You know, people would come to a party kind of like, you know, they expected to hear like their favorite songs, but they also were expecting like to hear something new that they never experienced before. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Manny Fresh, one of my mentors. You know, he would tell stories like they would actually bring like the drum machines to the school dances. So like while they're DJing, like they're programming beats and doing remixes like live on the spot. So, you know, you hire DJs because of the type of parties and the type of energy and vibe that they gave you. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you couldn't stream nothing off of the internet, you had to actually like have the record to play. So like people weren't just hiring you, they were also hiring your record collection. Because if, you know what I'm saying, like if there was another DJ, you couldn't just be like, oh yeah, I DJ because I know how to do it. Like you had to actually have the records that people wanted to hear. You know what I'm saying? So like being able to, you know, go to record stores and dig for certain songs and certain breaks and all of that, that was also a part of it. Like your record collection had to be doper than everybody else's record collection.
So how big is your record collection?
Well, I lost a lot of stuff in Katrina. Rest in peace.
I collect records. I got a lot. So I know your collection used to be
crazy.
And
then like going out of town, like I would hit different record stores and, you know, going to like conferences and meeting other DJs and, you know, getting tips on stuff from them and like, you know, where I could find some gems and, you know, I used to come to the party, like I had like a big recycling bin of records and like 5 or 6 other milk crates, and then I had like a couple other bags with like dance hall records or my bounce records or whatever it might be. You know, so like you had to have your whole crew with you. We had to have like 7, 8 people to carry all them records with you.
That's what I was gonna ask next. How did you carry all of that?
And then you know everywhere wasn't special needs accessible. So a lot of places didn't have elevators or ramps and stuff. Like when we used to do the basketball games at Dillard, like we'd have to carry the crates, you know, from the parking lot into the gym and then up the stairs to the balcony where we used to be set up at.
Y'all used to be strong.
Look, it definitely was an exercise, kept us in shape.
So back in middle school when you were at Livingston, you
Yes.
decided, hey, we're gonna DJ for a school project.
So it wasn't like we was going to DJ for the school project. We wanted to do a rap for the school project.
A rap for the school project.
So I was like, I need to figure out how I could do this mix and take like a break beat and put it with the Super Mario music. You know what I'm saying? Because like Nintendo was like all the rage, and I'm like, yo, if I could take that Super Mario do 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 and put like a beat on it, like we getting the A straight up.
Do you remember what the project was for?
Huh?
Do you
It
remember
was
what
social
the
studies. It was a social studies project, and that was when I was like, I need to get a mixer so I can take one input from my Nintendo and another input from the record player or the tape or somehow. I didn't know how I was gonna figure it out, but I knew I needed to get these 2 different sounds and blend them together. And I was like, I need a mixer.
Do you remember the subject matter of that project?
It was probably like Black History or I don't know. We might have been trying to do our own little what's the play? Hamilton. We was probably trying to do like our whole little Hamilton.
Your own version
about the
Constitution.
presidents or something. But yeah, like that was the first spark of me like I need to get a mixer so I can mix these things together.
So that's how you transitioned into producing music, actually.
Like it kind of came hand in hand because, you know, my dad bought me a stereo system, I don't know, for maybe like my 10th or 11th birthday. And, you know, it's like I had, you know, for those of y'all that's super young and have only had like an iPad or iPhone with iTunes, we used to have a stereo with a component system. So you had like a record player, you had a tuner, which was like, you know, like the radio stations, and it would also have like the little EQ, and you could have like other inputs on it. And I had like a cassette player, and then at the bottom of the rack, you had like the little space for your records and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that was like my first piece of like gear was like, yo, like I got some music gear, I could do something, you know. And I try to like, you know, do a little on the record player. It wasn't like a DJ record player, but I could still, you know, get a little of the sound where it's like, yo, I know what I need next.
Right.
I need a proper DJ turntable and a proper mixer.
So coming up with a musical family, your dad was a professional musician. Did he force you to play an instrument, or did you find another hobby to get into
I was
before
just
that?
about to ask that.
So my dad was like, you need to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to learn something just because for as personal development, just as a human being, being able to have some type of creative element to play music. So, you know, I took piano like forever. It never really stuck with me. Like I can't like sit down and like, you know, like today I can't sit down and like read stuff just off the cuff and just, you know, I can't do no Mozart or nothing like that. But if you leave me in front of a piano or a keyboard long enough, I can figure it out. Like I understand the theory and chord structure and all other type of stuff like that. But you know, it wasn't until the technology got in my hands that was for like the music of my time with hip hop where I was like, okay, now I'm trying to put this together. And, you know, he was still kind of on me, but once he realized I kind of like had figured out my own thing and my own path, you know, he fully supported it. You know, I got different equipment pretty much for every birthday, Christmas, turntable or a new microphone or something. You know, when I graduated from high school, he was like, you know, we should probably start looking about getting you a car or something. And I was like, I don't need no car. I need a 4-track. And I need an ASR 10 so I can do these beats and we can record. I was like, I'll catch the bus. I'm cool with that.
So would you say that because I see that your dad was very supportive of what you wanted to do. Do you think that's like that was a big help in you becoming?
Oh, definitely. I mean, both my parents, you know, I don't leave my mom out either because she, you know, supported me and all this because, you know, all my homies used to be at the apartment in Georgetown coming through there, and we be in there with the door closed, but it was still like super loud in the apartment building. You know what I'm saying?
So that's a lesson to all y'all. So whatever y'all child want to do, invest into them. You know what I'm saying? Let them grow into that and master that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's dope.
Mac from No Limit, he used to come through, and my mom was like, "He's so strange. Like every time he comes to the apartment, like he always introduces himself like I don't remember him. You know, and Mac just being stupid. Like he comes like, "Hi, I'm Mac." Like he just being silly. But she was like, "Does he really think like I don't remember him?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so we used to just be in there making a whole lot of noise. You know, we in there in our teen years in there cursing and all type of stuff with the door closed, making our little tapes. You know, and it was cool, you know, and forever through my career, like, you know, like they've helped me to launch onto like the different levels. So like when I graduated from college, you know, I was able to get like some more equipment that, you know, they helped me to get. And after Katrina, I was originally planning to move back into the house that I grew up in. That was my dad's house because he was staying somewhere else at the time. And you know, I convinced him to let me like, you know, just kind of turn it into the studio. And he was like, all right, it's cool, you know. So
who was the first rapper that you worked with?
My homie Thomas that I was at Livingston with, and we used to be in homeroom in the 8th grade, beating on the tables. You know what I'm saying?
East?
Huh?
From the East?
Yeah.
Got some questions.
So, you know, we you know, when you in junior high school, you first get into it, like you hook up with people that like doing what you're doing. So like everybody that like rap, we kind of all hung together, you know, and we best friends to this day. Like he texted me yesterday for my birthday, you know what I'm saying? You know, so all the people that I started with like are still kind of in orbit. And what's interesting too, like they kids, you know what I'm saying? Like one of my homies that I came up with in junior high school with, like now his son is producing and be at the studio working on stuff, you know? And it was funny because like, I think he was born like right after we got out of high school. And my homie, he got married again maybe about a year or 2 years ago. It was about a year and a half ago. And so we had the wedding, and his son come up to him and was like, "You know Raj Smoove?" And he like, "You know Raj Smoove. Like, he's known you since you've been in Pampers, since you was born. Like, he's known you." You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "I got beats." At the wedding, you know what I'm saying? At the reception, like, "I got beats." And we go out to the car, he let me hear some beats, and I'm like, "Yo, like, you know, whenever you want to come through, like, you a legacy." You know what I'm saying? So whenever you want to come through. So he been coming through and getting it in.
And that's on family.
That's on family. You know, I think it's very important, you know what I'm saying? Because like when we talk about like, you know, my parents being supportive, when we talk about family and community and generational wealth and being able to pass on what you've built up to your children, to the next generation, to help them have a leg up so they don't have to start from scratch. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that, you know, my parents supported me and I've been able to, you know, build and maintain these assets, creative assets, business assets to do things with, that there are people that are coming after me, that are family, that are in my lineage, that I can also, you know, now y'all don't have to start from scratch. Y'all can start from where I'm at to take it farther than I've been able to take it far.
And that's the proper mindset to have, especially in this day and age, and seeing generations progress, especially the new ones coming through and saying, "Hey, I don't want my kid to start where I started. I want them with this leg up to make a better world for the next generation that comes through." And I appreciate
they got to be better. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, all the folks that I deal with, you know what I'm saying, that I work with, that I manage, even folks that I might have a cursory relationship with. Like, if there's something that I can do to help them out that don't really cost me nothing, like, why wouldn't I?
So, all right, I gotta ask this because I ain't gonna lie. A lot of your music is the soundtrack to my childhood. How did you and Wayne link up?
So we're gonna do the long story. So from high school, I got became part of a crew called Psych Award. In the Psych Award, Mac was one of the originators of the crew. Mac from No Limit. Yeah. So Mac previously had a rap career as Lil Mac. He had an album that came out on Yo Records that was written by Gregory D and produced by Manny Fresh. One of Manny Fresh's best friends, DJ Wop, who came up with him since they was Yay High in the 7th Ward, became cool with Mac after that whole little project went on, and Mac was like, I want to rap for real because I'm really cold. I don't want to just do the kiddie rap. Right. So they had a group that they started with Mac, Wop, and Mac's cousin Wiz. So Wop was Mac's DJ. From me getting in crew with Mac, a little bit on the second tier of his career, then I got introduced to Wop. Wop eventually introduced me to Manny because I would be running with Wop all the time. Wop started DJing for CashMoney. So I would go with him, CashMoney parties and all of that because, it's the place to be. Like, right. I'm with the DJ. I am the DJ. Of course. So, right. We in the game. So we was at the New Year's Eve party in 1999, right before the CashMoney Ruff Ryders tour. BT had a joint dropping of the New Year's ball.
I know that party was crazy.
Like Ruff Ryders did a party in New York and then CashMoney did their party here at the Metro. So, of course, like I'm in there. And after the party's over, Fresh like, Raj, what's up? You coming on tour with us? Right, I'm coming on tour with y'all. So that's how I ended up DJing for CashMoney, being on the CashMoney Ruff Ryder tour. Met Wayne. We did that whole little run. Then we did the Big Timers run. Then Wayne wanted to start doing his mixtape stuff. And he asked Wop if he had a studio, and Wop was like, no, I don't have a studio, but holler at Raj, he got a studio. And then Wayne hollered at me and then was like, yo, I got some stuff I want to record. He came through, and then that's when we did 10,000 bars, and that was the start of that whole era.
That's the start of an era.
So that was like 10 years in the making. From me, like from, really like from Mac meeting Wop and me starting to DJ in like 90 to, meeting all the little links in the chain, and in 2000 being on the tour with CashMoney, meeting with Wayne, and then that's when all that started.
So there's this video floating around the internet. Shout out to Kev Toussaint of you running that beat, as the kids say, with Mr. Master Blaster himself, Stevie Wonder. And he sang a melody of a couple of his favorite tunes. How did that situation happen? How did that come about?
So it was not the UNCF. I don't know. One of the national black organizations had their conference down here in New Orleans. And I don't know what was going on early in the night where like Stevie, like there was another event he was supposed to be at. I don't know if the concert happened or whatever, but party was at the Metro. We were already like rocking when Stevie and his people came in there. And then when Stevie's people came in, they was like, yo, Stevie Wonder wants to know if you could play P-Rock and CL Smooth, they reminisce over you. I was like, hell yeah. Like, that's my favorite song in 1992, 93. Like, what you talking about? So the fact that Stevie, requested it, I'm like, I fuck with Stevie, And then I played it, and everybody in the crowd was like, like they was rocking. So I'm like, it's going to be a great night. So a little while longer, Stevie people came up, was like, Stevie want to know if you got some beats. I'm like, I got some beats. He's like, is it cool if you get on a microphone? I'm like, man, say less. Like, let's go. So, he came up, and, it was kind of dark in there, so nobody really, like, saw him get up there. And, I put on, I think I put on the instrumental for Friends first. I was just, like, backspinning that, and he just started singing. And then everybody slowly started to realize that, like, is that Stevie?
That must have been crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And then everybody's phones came out, and it was a moment in time. We had lightning in a bottle. It was all just like completely organic, just in the moment. We put it together, and the video will not die. Like every 3-4 months, it starts circulating again. They're like, please protect Stevie Wonder at all costs, and it's me and Stevie Wonder on it.
So we gotta add protect DJ Raj Smoove at all costs. Also, we can't just leave you out. So as a DJ, you are basically a remote control for the crowd. You're the vibe setter. How do you properly assess your crowds when you DJ to see what you're gonna play?
just, you know, a lot of experience, understanding, you know, the demographics and what people like when they were coming up. Like, what was their soundtrack of their childhood? You know what I'm saying? And taking them on a journey down memory lane. You know, you want to do something, and then this goes for like whether you DJing or whether you a creative making music, whatever you doing, you an artist, you want to do something that's going to resonate with people. So creating an environment, creating a vibe, playing the right songs that's going to resonate with folks, you know, just to get that emotional response out of them. So they were like, yo, like I had like the time of my life tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what do you have like who I don't know what it is. Hold up. We're gonna cut that.
Favorite event?
What's alright. What's the best crowd or event you think you DJ for?
The best crowd. I think the best era was just like Soul to Soul at House of Blues back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Just the music was amazing at that time. This was pre-social media, so like everybody was in the spot actually talking to people and socializing face to face.
This was pre-sections also. That's
pre-sections. You know, like everybody was on the dance floor. You know, all the women was real. You know what I'm saying? 99.5%. You know, for real, like you don't know what it is nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a time to be alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you would go out and be out until the sun come up. You never knew who you was gonna see. You know that was gonna come through and do something, whether it was on a national level or like if Wayne and the squad was just in there chilling, or Juvie and Baby and them was in there, like whatever the case may be. Like, it was just the place to be. And everybody knew that it was the place to be, so everybody was there.
The club era in New Orleans.
Yeah,
especially that era, that 99, 2000. I know the city was lit.
It was just amazing. Like there was like one of the greatest nights ever. It was like right when I Need a Hot Girl came out, and you know, just to go from like I Need a Hot Girl to Back That Ass Up and like the other records that it's like. Just the chain of hit records that we were able to go through. Just the promoters used to be like, Raj, like you got to put like some more dips in the night because like, you know, like it start off like this and then the party go up and it just stay there for the whole night. Like it's just on 100 the whole night instead of like, you know, people come up and then like take it down a little bit so people go to the bar. Like they like, we need people to go to the bar and get some drinks. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to kill this shit. Like I ain't trying to slow the party. Like, even when I was playing like my little slow songs, because they used to bring down like Biz Markie to come DJ like during Essence and stuff. And I remember being in a club and Biz Markie played like Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On, and everybody in there is like singing the record. I'm like, yo, you could do this? Like it never occurred to me at this time that you could play like slow songs in the club and it would go off. So I'm like, all right, I go start going to the record stores and start digging for all like the jams, all the slow songs that used to be popping. And, you know, now I'm putting that into my set. Like we might do 30, 45 minutes of nothing but slow jams, and every girl in there and dude in there singing at the top of their lungs, top of their lungs. And it's just going crazy, and nobody else doing that.
Yeah. Right. In their feelings.
Yeah, everybody in their feelings, you know, having a great time. Like you, come on, undefeated.
So we heard you have a large palette for music outside of just hip hop and R&B. As far as the genre goes, what are some of your favorite tunes outside of hip hop and R&B?
I love like alt rock and like the weird stuff, like, you know, Fiona Apple, Portishead. You know, I had like a couple Avril Lavigne CDs. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like, I used to rock like with all of that, you know, because the thing is,
I'm not surprised.
You know, when I'm at the job, like I got to play these songs. Like I hear, you know, Jay-Z and DMX and Juvenile 5 to 6 times a week. So when I'm in my off time, like I want to decompress and listen to some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like when you know, most people when they at work, when they go home, they don't have to deal with or see nothing that they have to deal with when they at work. Like that's on my job. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get it twisted. Like I love the music that I be playing. You know what I'm saying? But having a chance to like vibe out to some different stuff. Like I was always about that life.
With all your experience and history, how does it feel to have worked with older and newer generations like Hot Sizzle and 504 Ice Girl?
I mean, I think it's dope. Like I appreciate the fact that I get accepted on kind of each new iteration. You know what I'm saying? Because again, like a lot of folks, you know, they kind of turn to dust and they just they gone. Like you don't see them no more. You know, so the fact that I've been able to, you know, I'm in my 4th decade of doing this, and the street's still fucking with me. So I'm honored.
This episode is brought to you by Zucchi, New Orleans' own rolling paper company. Roll it, don't hold it.
So with having worked with both sides, are there any differences in between artists from now and artists from then? Is like the process different? Yeah.
You know, just because, you know, before folks used to write their rhymes in a notebook, and now, you know, folks just want to punch in. And I feel like a lot of the artists now have kind of like less control over what they're saying in their content because there's not as much thought put into it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, whatever I feel in the moment that'll fit right here, as opposed to like, let me actually construct something, you know? Right. You know, and it's just a sign of the times. Like, you know, if you go back and listen to some older albums, like the whole album might have a theme or a concept to it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like folks will put like skits on the projects to like link, like songs used to actually like talk about something. You know what I'm saying? And now it's kind of like, you know, like what's the vibe? You know what I'm saying? Like people just want to have a vibe, and nobody has the same vibe because people don't listen to music the same anymore. Like everybody has their own curated for you playlists on Apple Music and Spotify. Like if you like this artist, then you also like this other artist that sounds exactly like the artist that you just finished listening to, as opposed to, you know, let me listen to something gangster, but then I might want to throw some Mary J. Blige or some R&B up in there, and then maybe listen to something from the South or something from the East Coast, and then throw a little, you know, Snoop G-Funk or something in there. Like there was more variety in what people listened to. And now people kind of get stuck in their own little rabbit holes, and they'll come to a club and request a song that only they like.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, when you go to a lot of clubs and parties now, a lot of the DJs is only playing music from, at the very least, like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Before the algorithm started taking over and everybody kind of agreed on this record is a hit. Like everybody kind of agreed for the most part that Not Like Us is unadulterated banger. You know what I'm saying? I don't care where you come from, your social, economic, race, whatever, Not Like Us was the jam. So, but you don't have as many records like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it used to be, you know, like 106 in Park, whatever was number one on 106 in Park, chances on like everybody was on that same record. Right. But we don't have as much of a shared community when it comes to the music that we listening to now. You know, you might have something that pops off on TikTok, but everybody's not on TikTok, or everybody doesn't get the same algorithm on TikTok. So it might kind of like, you know, come across their feed, but if they swipe past it too fast, they're not gonna see that no more. They're gonna see something else. So, you know, there's just not as much consensus on what is hot right now, or what is like the song of the moment. And I think that's kind of hurt the party scene. Right. You know, for personal taste, you know, I mean, is it kind of cool that, you know, you get more of the same? I think it's a plus to be able to have access to different types of music. You know what I'm saying? To know about, you know, some Marvin Gaye, but still like, all right, you know, the Gritty with NBA Youngboy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we could write Foot Creep, but then we still, you know, Wayne had a great verse on his Benny the Butcher song, you know, but then, you know, you got her or SZA or something on the other side. You know what I'm saying? And getting all of those different type of genres and those different type of vibes in the same space.
Right.
And those spaces have become so segregated and so siloed, I think it's kind of like really put us at a disadvantage and disconnected us a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like social media kind of made it to where it kind of kills the artistry behind, you know what I'm saying, music, because now we don't have too much of like regional rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you from New Orleans, you sound like you from New Orleans, you from New York. It's kind of like everybody all kind of starting to sound the same. You know what I'm saying? Because like social media kind of made it to whereas I don't want to say too much access, but now it's like you said, you can find things curated in a way like, oh, this artist and this artist. And I never thought about it like that. They do that where they recommend like this motherfucker sound like this motherfucker. So you should probably like that. Yeah. It's less individuality.
Yeah, like and it's killed a lot of the creativity because like even like the labels like they want stuff, and I mean not that there's nothing new for them because they've always had like copycat artists, but like oh we need somebody that sounds like this because this is the wave right now.
Yeah.
So let's hurry up and try to hop on this train, and you know like and even like now like a lot of the labels aren't really trying to develop artists. Like they're not searching for what the next diamond in the rough might be. Big. They just looking for somebody that got numbers, whether they like them or not. If the numbers aren't there, they can't even justify it to their bosses to put it into the system.
They go after people with like large followings now, and they just like expect them to capitalize off their large following, but they don't develop them as artists. So that's how a lot of people fail nowadays because the label kind of put a lot on social media, and you being able to do things in social media, but they're not being developed, and they end up.
It's a commodity now. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just trying to find something that already has, you know, some semblance of success, and then they try to upstream it to see if they can, you know, put some type of multiplier to multiply the success, and then reap whatever benefits that's there. And then once it's used up, that's a wrap.
Now, as far as artists not actually writing their bars anymore and not punching in, I think there's someone in this room that is partially to blame for that, possibly.
I mean,
what you did? You stopped writing rhymes?
I mean, not me. I'm not the one that produced for one of the I mean, the forefather of punching in, Mr. Lil Wayne himself, and 10,000 bars.
Well, so to be clear, all of the rhymes that was on 10,000 bars were written in a notebook. Like you can hear him ripping the pages out of the notebook and throwing them on the floor. Because the whole point of that was that, you know, because, you know, Jay-Z didn't write rhymes, or so the ghetto story went, you know what I'm saying? Like the legend, Jay-Z doesn't write, Biggie didn't write his rhymes like that. So you know what? I'm Lil Wayne, I'm the coolest rapper, I'm gonna stop writing my rhymes. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, I got all of these rhymes and raps in my notebook that I gotta get out. Now, after that, Wayne didn't come in the studio and was like, hey, all right, let me drop this line real quick and then take 2-3 minutes to come up with another line. Wayne had all of his rhymes written in his brain. You know what I'm saying? Like he came to the studio with his rhymes together and he would go in there, you know, 1-2 takes and he would be done. Like when you hear all them stories about Jay-Z, they like, you know, like they just dropped on Shay Shay with Scarface, and he was talking about when he was in the studio with Jay-Z and Jay-Z would be in the corner and then go in the booth and drop it and then leave him in the studio alone. You know what I'm saying? Like you still got to write your rhymes. So, you know, but what happened was folks saw that and they misinterpreted what it was they were seeing. Yeah. Like, you know, these are very intelligent artists and creators of their craft who were really putting thoughts into their rhymes and their lines ahead of time and coming in and doing it. But everybody else was like, oh, you know, I idolize Lil Wayne, so I want to be like Lil Wayne, but you are not Lil Wayne, and you are actually not doing what Lil Wayne is doing. Because Lil Wayne has written his rhymes in his mind, in his brain, before he came to the studio. So you come in there thinking you about to do the same thing, and you just coming up with it on the spot, and you really not putting that much time into it.
He coming prepared.
You know what I'm saying? So that's two completely different things. Like, even for me, like when I DJ at a party, like I don't plan what I'm going to play ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Because I got enough experience with these songs and these tempos and these genres that I know how to put it together already before, like I'm painting a whole new picture. Like I know all about my colors and my angles and everything. Like I'm painting a new picture on the spot.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? But for somebody who hasn't done that for that long and can't put it together in their mind, they might need to put a little set list together. Like, you know, let me have these songs prepared. So just like that, for these young rappers coming in the studio, listen to me, there is nothing wrong with knowing what you want to say before you come in the studio. It will save you money because your sessions will go a lot quicker. You will have better control over how you say what it is that you say because you know the words that are going to be coming out of your mouth before they come out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And you won't have to come back to the studio because you're going to be like, man, I was listening to it and I think I could have said these couple of lines a little bit better. So like, like the first time, I don't want to say the first time, but like when we worked on our first Psych Award album, like we did so much pre-production before we went in the studio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we knew where everybody's verse was going on their songs. We have rehearsed, like we was rehearsing for a show. We was rehearsing to go into the studio and drop these songs. And we went in there, we did like 15 songs in 10 hours.
And I think that's partially to credit the internet for making people believe that we live in this microwave society where you just get everything immediately. Yeah. You have to learn the rules in order to break the rules in order to get something accomplished like that. You don't just walk in and get it done.
A lot of people don't understand it's a process.
People think you could just do it. Like, like I watched the video on YouTube and now I got it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I ain't gonna lie, I've learned to do a lot of things on the internet and YouTube University. So, you know, one of my partners hit me up last week and was talking about trying to take some classes about, some paid classes about like doing songs and music for like sync for like movies and stuff. Right. I'm like, yo, before you spend any money, go to YouTube University, find out what you can learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, before I came here, you know, some of my folks hit me up about some equipment, about how to use it. I was like, I don't know, check on YouTube. Like, you probably learn how to do it. You know what I'm saying? And they got it together. So, you know, but again, like, there's things that take time. Like Wayne, when he stopped writing his rhyme, he had already been rapping for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been DJing for 35 years. Like, I could walk in anywhere and do my thing, and the party's gonna have a great time. Like I don't have to, like I've done 35 years of planning for this party that I'm getting into. You know what I'm saying? Wayne has been rapping for 30 plus years, so he's prepared 30 years to walk in his studio and do what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So please, you know, don't take some time out, write your rhymes down. It's not gonna hurt you. Nobody's gonna laugh at you. You know what I'm saying? You might come out with something better, you know, because at the end of the day, you just want a great record. You want a hit record, something that's going to resonate with people. And everybody does not necessarily have the ability to do that on the spot, on the drop of a dime.
All right, before we let you go, we're going to do a segment we call Ain't Done No More. You know, New Orleans is full of iconic people, places, and flavors that aren't around no more. If you had the power to bring any of them back, what would you bring back?
What ain't done no more? Well, Peaches is still there, but they ain't there no more at their old location on Elysian Fields and Broad. And I was mad because I always wanted my picture painted on the side of the wall. So they ain't there no more, so I can't get that happening. You know, I miss Odyssey Records on Canal Street. They ain't there no more. Like, we used to go up in there and hang with like Charlie V and all the cats who used to work there. You know, and find out like what the new records that just came in. Probably In Connection ain't there no more on Frenchman Street. That was my favorite fried chicken in the city, but also I gave Jay-Z a beat CD in there. You know what I'm saying? When it was on, what was Rock the Mic tour? I don't know, one of them tours, they was through here, and I walked in there, and all like Rockefeller was in there eating. So I went back to the truck and got a diss. I'm like, yo, check this out. If you like it, holla.
Oh, bro. What's up?
What else ain't there? The Plaza ain't there no more. Like, we used to hang in the Plaza like that was just a spot.
I heard plenty
of stories about back
the
in the G. That's probably my most ain't there no more. Yeah.
All right.
That's it for today's episode of the PotCast. We're your hosts,
Professor Dre Marley
and Lace. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, Gumbo Gang.
Peace.